Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. And today I'm going to be talking about second chances. And this is such a huge thing when it comes to religious communities, when it comes to people of virtue, people of integrity, and this idea of forgiving, right? This idea of being the bigger and the better person, this idea of being the best version of yourself and being able to move on and leave the things in the past. So I really wanted to speak to that.
From beautiful seeds to flourishing legacies.
Now, the idea of forgiving is beautiful, right? And you can forgive a person without them even knowing it. We're not talking about the question of forgiveness, because forgiveness most of the time is for you rather than the other person. You are letting go of that grudge within you. You are eradicating the negativity from your heart. But today I'm talking about giving second chances, reconciliation, right? Making up with the person, connecting with them again and being around them and creating this relationship based on whatever it is, friendship, family relationship, whatever it is, right? You've had some issues in the past and then you're talking about, you're getting through it and all of these things. And the amount of times it is so easy to forgive someone and you decide to, be friends with them again, or whatever it is, the capacity of your relationship. You want things to go back to the way they were before all of the toxic stuff happened, right? Or whatever it is that happened between you both. However, one thing that I really want us to pay attention to, and this is something that I personally study, and this is what I use in my coaching as well, is the idea of listening to our bodies. The body knows what you don't know, and that is that you are not ready to trust this person. They have not shown themselves to truly be sorry about what happened. That's a sign that you're around someone who is toxic. And I'm going to talk about that in future videos, because these whole series of videos are things which are about one of our greatest blinders, which I wrote about in my book, The Woke Writer, is toxic people. When you're on a path of growth, what tends to happen is a lot of people will come around you and begin to show themselves, or they'll try and provoke you and etc. Or you begin to notice it a little bit more and you stop the patterns. You begin to notice the patterns and you begin to stop the patterns. And some people will push harder or some people will push under. And what I mean by push under is they will do things in a covert way, right? Covert bullies. If they push harder from above, then they'll do it in a more overt way. And there's different ways that people are going to react to you. But two important lessons: that if you are ever around a person who has broken the trust of integrity between two people, this can be a relationship with someone who is close to you. This can be a relationship with someone who is a friend, someone who is an acquaintance, anyone, right? But someone who has broken the integrity relationship, and even someone who you meet for the first time. Now, the first foundation to understand is this. Number one, trust takes time to build. If you do not trust someone after they have hurt you, or you do not trust someone when you first meet them, do not push your body to do what it is telling you it cannot do at that time. Whether that's an accurate response from the body or not. Our whole thing about working through our trauma, working towards our growth and healing, is we have to be in a safe place first. And we cannot be in a safe place when our body is having a visceral reaction of fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn towards a dangerous seeming situation. So first things first, keep yourself safe, right? Listen to your body. Your body is telling you what it needs, whether it's accurate information of if there is a danger or not, whether it's a warped perception, etc. based on your childhood trauma. Your body is telling you what it needs. And if your body is not ready to trust, then let your body take its time and create a safe space around you. Stabilize yourself physically in your body before working through all of the trauma stuff, right? And what safety can look like. I'll just give you a very random example. Say if someone had a very difficult situation before they went to bed, I don't know, maybe they had, you can probably relate to this in your own way. Maybe there was the barking of a dog, and there was like this shadow that came over the room because it was a tree, but it was terrifying and the person never forgot it, and all of these things, right? So every time that person goes to sleep, there's this sense of anxiety. This sense of anxiety, your heart is beating, you feel wired, you feel very fearful being in your body. So one thing that won't make sense to the mind is how to make the body feel safe. And what a person who works with the body and the mind and trauma would suggest to them, a coach might suggest to them, is just let your body feel like it is safe, even if it doesn't make rational sense. Because the actions we do with our body might not make rational sense in our mind, but it has an impact on our body because our bodies have memories, right? Our bodies have memories. And what happens is, so the person might look under the bed and they might close the curtains all the way. They might close all the doors. They might make sure that the door is locked, make sure all the lights are off. Maybe there's a little night light there as well. They might do all of these things and it doesn't make rational sense. They've checked the locks, they've done all of these things, but if the person is feeling unsafe at that moment, that is what they need, and that is what they need to do in order to keep their body safe. So the body knows what it needs, right? And if a person is, you are around a person and you're beginning to feel this lack of trust, whether the person is trustworthy or not, your body is not ready to trust. So it's important that we honor what our body is telling us to do. And most of the time, 99% of the time, it takes a very long time for a person to earn our trust. We respect everybody. As soon as we meet a person, we respect them for being human, for having value, just the integrity of life in itself. But trust is something that has to be earned, especially if you've been from a background of trauma, if you've been through difficult situations. And every single person in the world has been through some kind of trauma, some kind of difficult situation which overwhelms their nervous system, keep popping up. And we're always going through the process of healing. So your body needs time to trust. That's the foundation, right? That's the foundation of every relationship. It takes time to trust. Even if you newly get married, it takes time to trust. Even if you're, meeting a friend for the first time, it takes time to trust. Now, 2 ways that you will see the nature of a person, whether they are trustworthy or not, is number 1, show your truest self to them. Show who you really are and don't hide yourself. Obviously do it in a way that's balanced, like not in your face, like this is who I am, this is what I do. Do it in a way that is authentic to you, of course. And you're not hiding your opinions. You see something, and if it's the wise time to do it, because if you choose to be on a path of growth, and if you choose to be on a path of virtue, of righteousness, of coming, being the best version of yourself, you're not going to say everything that's on your mind, because it might not be the time or the place to do it. But you're doing things with wisdom, and you're choosing to be a wise person. And if that is, the you, who you are, and what you are showing, and a person can't take that and they keep provoking you and they keep trying to bring out a side of you to see you react or see you emotional, that's a sign that the person cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. If they're pushing your buttons and they're trying to get a reaction from you, they can't be trusted, right? Or if you show yourself and they become aggressive toward you and it becomes a push and pull game of domination, they cannot be trusted. If they're showing toxic patterns of guilt tripping, manipulating, all of these things, they cannot be trusted. And another way to know if a person can be trusted or not is when you set a boundary with them. And a boundary is, again, what gives you the liberation to be yourself. And when you set a boundary with this person and they react, and most of the time, a lot of people who are toxic or have certain toxic patterns, they will not react very well to the boundary. But the beautiful thing is they have shown themselves, right? And another thing to just keep in mind is that one of the sunnahs, one of the laws of God, laws of Allah, is that time reveals everything. The truth will always be shown. That's the law of God. The truth will always be shown. So it's just a matter of time, whether it's shown in this life or the next life, but the way is that the truth will always be shown. So as long as you keep trying to be the best version of yourself, you take your time to trust, you listen to what your body needs, you set your boundaries, healthy boundaries, and you also show your true self to people instead of suppressing it or being exaggerated in this other version of who you think that person wants you to be. And if you get rejected, then that's a beautiful sign. That's a beautiful sign that this person cannot be trusted. So I really hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that you can think about the next time that you give a second chance to someone. If you are ready to wait a little bit longer, because anything that has to be sorted, just another thing as well, anything that has to be sorted there and then according to the other person or you, any urgency isn't something that is a sign of something that is always good, right? So what I'm trying to say is trust takes time, growth takes time, healing takes time. So take your time and all the time that you need, and nothing needs to be solved right now until you are ready and you are in a place of self and strength that you can do that. And create your boundaries, set them with the person, and they will always show themselves. And you just need to be the best version of yourself. So you did everything that you could to treat that person with respect. If you want a free downloadable on how to let go, I have a chapter from my book, The Woke Writer. It is the chapter on surrender, and it is a free downloadable. Just check it where you are watching this video right now. There is also a course for anyone who wants to leave a legacy behind. It is called the Woke Writer course, but it is really for anyone who wants to do something purposeful, create a masterpiece. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with someone who you feel might benefit. Have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. Peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.